Okay, Ewan, so as soon as the judges have settled,
Yep.
I'm sure you know the drill fairly well, but remember to raise your hand to start the clock and raise your hand at the end of the presentation to finish.
Okay.
I think they're more or less good to go, so best of luck.
Yep.
Hope it goes well.
Right.
Enjoy yourself.
You guys good to go? Tick, guys. All right. Time. Morning, judges. Now, before I begin my presentation, I have a confession to make. I love serving coffee. Now, that may come as a surprise to you. I'm not just in this for the speedboats and the supermodels. I'm in it because I love engaging with customers. I love talking to them about flavour, about taste. I love educating them in an inclusive way. I like to help further their understanding of the coffee and therefore their enjoyment. And that for me is the most important part of coffee. Now, I'm going to be preparing my cig drink in front of you. I'll explain all later. Nice. Okay, so I'm going to start by serving my espresso. It's a washed Typica from Bolivia. It's a medium to light roast profile in order to encourage both sweetness and acidity. Now, I'm going to be saying the taste notes, so please take note of these. First of all, you're going to get a caramel sweetness. Then you're going to get a green grape acidity. Then you're going to get a very, very slight cocoa powder bitterness. As for flavour, we've got a wee bit of malt, sort of like a light amber coloured malt. Not too much. And we've got a sort of soft dark toffee. Kind of like you buy at a beach when you're a wee boy and you leave it in your pocket too long and it gets all soft. Finally, texture. Now I think the texture of this coffee is really, really interesting. For me, it's like an aero bar. It's like aerated chocolate. It's super, super light. Now, if you imagine taking a spoonful of olive oil, this coffee, it doesn't feel like olive oil in your mouth, but it coats your teeth and your tongue like olive oil might. Finally, it's a lot like peanut butter. After you swallow it, it coats the roof of your mouth, right up until you take a drink of water. It just stays there. I don't know how that works, but that's what it does. So I'm going to prep your espressos, back in a second.
So as we said before, the competitors can produce the drinks in any order. So Ewan has started by some preparation for his signature drink. Now he's commencing, along with the others, with his espresso.
evaluate these, I'm going to get to work on the cappuccinos.
Ewan, that's 5 minutes, 10 minutes remaining.
Wonderful, thank you.
The judges evaluating Ewing's espressos. Firstly, again, looking at the crema, the persistency of the crema. Then the balance between the sweet, acidic and bitter flavours of the coffee. And for the nuances and characteristics of the coffee that Ewan's described.
Interesting. That malt flavour that was there in the espresso at the start, that gets multiplied by 10. And the toffee sweetness mellows out a wee bit, becomes fudge. Back in a second, guys.
Let's give you a bit of support for those two cappuccinos. Nice little clap, please. Thank you. Might notice that Ewan is showing the portafilters to the technical judges before he proceeds with his next shot. He's showing them that he's completely cleaned out the portafilter, so therefore there's no cross-contamination with any of the residue of the previous shots in the basket. Every little detail like that can make a difference to the points the barista scores. Ewan, that's 10 minutes, 5 minutes remaining.
Thank you very much. There we are. Okay. While you finish with these cappuccinos, guys, I'll pull the shots for the cig drink, and all this will be explained.
Okay, so Ewan's now made his final 2 cappuccinos. Judges evaluating those by first looking at the presentation, looking at the texture and the persistency of the microfoam. Then tasting the coffee. Looking for a good balance between the sweet, rich flavours of the milk and the flavours of the coffee. And also searching for those characteristics of the coffee once it's working with milk in the cappuccino. These Ewan's explained to the judges.
So, for my cig drink, I wanted to highlight a couple of the tastes and flavours that were there in the espresso at the start. The first was that caramel sweetness. Now, I thought it'd be pretty easy to just stick some caramel in there and melt it down, but this is the Barista Championships, so I spent some time looking for something I could add that would emulate caramel but not be caramel. So I came upon some raw muscovado sugar. It's not particularly sweet, which I thought was great, and also that molasses that's there in the sugar for me works really, really well with the malt flavour that's already present in the espresso. Secondly was that green grape acidity. That was super hard to emulate.
2 minutes remaining.
Thank you. I started by infusing green grapes in water, and all I could get was sweetness and flavour. There was no acidity. So I did some research and I found out that the 2 acids present in green grapes were malic and tannic acid. Now, malic acid is that sourness you get out of a Granny Smith, and tannic acid is like that dryness from a white wine. So there's both of each in your cig drink. The only drinking instruction I'd give you, give it a good swirl before you taste. Okay?
Let's give you a round of applause for those 4 nicely explained signature drinks. Thank you.
Can I get a time check, please?
Where's my timer?
Thank you.
One minute remaining, Ewan.
Thanks very much.
Seconds.
Thanks. Okay guys, so before I finish, I want to take you back to the very start when I said I love serving coffee. Now I hope that my presentation and my deconstruction and then reconstruction of my cig drink for you clearly communicated that, and you all got what I was talking about. Okay, thanks. Time.
Fantastic, great big round of applause. Ewan, can you come over here away from the station, please? Thanks very much. So tell us, did that go as planned?
Yep, said all but one thing I wanted to say, which was balance. I forgot to talk about balance.
Okay. I mean, there was a great explanation of, right from the start about what you were going to do. I mean, have you sort of tried this different ways? And
I struggled at first to time things that would give the judges an opportunity to taste the drinks without me talking at them. And I thought the best thing to do would be to spend 5 minutes and just explain exactly what's going to happen. They've got it written down clearly. And then drinks takes 30 seconds to fill a shot, so it's not a problem. Okay.
And can you tell us a little bit more about the coffee you're using there? Because obviously when people are watching you, they don't take it all in. So
it's roasted by Has-Been. It's from a farm called Finca Cantonese. This year was the first year that the coffee was processed on the farm. I think it's delicious. It's a really good competition coffee. As soon as I tasted it, I thought, yeah, I'm going to use this one. And it has been. I've been super, super useful. And Dale Harris in particular, I don't know if he's here, but he's been really helpful with all that.
Okay. So when you say it's good competition coffee, what were you looking for in a coffee for that?
Something that clearly has 2 or 3 flavours that I can talk about and deconstruct and present to the judges, rather than something that's too complex and convoluted. Something that's easily presentable is a great, good competition coffee for me.
Okay, great. And your shots poured as planned?
Yeah.
Happy with the shots?
Well, I was going to weigh and time my dry dose and my wet dose, but you can easily lose points by doing that, and I thought I'd play the game a wee bit, and the time setting I've got on the grinder was dosing the exact same weight that I wanted to every time upstairs, so I'm happy with it.
So you're happy with that?
Happy with that.
Okay. I mean, just for the people that are watching this who perhaps don't know how much work goes into it, I mean, could you sort of gauge roughly how many hours you put into preparing for this?
Not as much as last year, but I don't know. I would classify lying awake caffeinated at 4 AM as being part of the
training.
Yeah. As much as I love coffee, 1 or 2 cups and I'm anybody's. I'm such a weakling for caffeine. But, when the only time you can train is at night, and sometimes you just got to suck it up and be tired the next day. But it's all part of getting to the top, hopefully.
Okay. Well, it certainly came across very well. I hope you score well.
Me too.
Very well done.
Okay.
Another great big round of applause, please, for Ewan. Thank you.